If you thought last season was deep,
You haven't heard anything yet.
this is boots to boots.
The moments where everything you thought you knew about yourself changes.
Because this is the stuff no one wants to talk about.
But it's what needs to be talked about.
Healing doesn't happen alone.
It happens through shared experience.
So lace up your boots.
Join the conversation.
We'll be talking to you. Today's guest has spent years behind the scenes shaping wrestling conversations.
Until the day it all changed. From producing to building her own platform.
She is the host of Gabby AF, Gabby LaSpisa.
Wow, what an intro. You guys are the real deal. I'm excited.
Well, we're flipping the script today.
Yeah.
It's very weird. It's strange. It's so crazy being the person to not like you were like, count me in, let me do the intro. And I was like, wait, am I supposed to do that? Like, that's what I do. I don't know
We're
what's
asking the
happening.
questions today.
Man, I'm excited.
Thank you for coming on, because have you done other podcasts before? Or are we the first?
You're not the first. I
Okay.
popped my cherry before, so I've had a couple others, but I haven't been on aside from Jericho's podcast. I did Jericho's podcast when I was like a baby, like years ago, and we were just talking wrestling. It wasn't really about me. So you're the first like wrestling podcast I've been on to talk about myself, which is like kind of fun for me.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so
I'm
much.
so excited. I love you guys, and I look up to you. So this is
Oh.
going to be great.
We love you too. But we figured we'd dive right in.
Okay.
And we met years ago when I was a baby, talking
Mhm.
Busted Open and getting on the show. And so
Yeah.
we just wanted to kind of start there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how did you become a producer on Busted Open, and how did you just get into this crazy industry of the world of pro wrestling?
It's insane how I got into it, because I tell people all the time, like, you never know what you're supposed to do until it kind of happens. I interned at SiriusXM my senior year of college, and it wasn't for anything sports. It had nothing to do with wrestling. It was like the music department. I like interned for Hip Hop Nation. So I was like the cool girl in like it was like a general internship, whatever. But I was like, I just need to make as many connections as possible. Like, I want to get a job here, because I always wanted to be on air. My dream was like an E! News reporter. I wanted to be that girl on the red carpet for like E! News, talking
I
entertainment.
see the vision.
Yeah, and I love like reality TV and like that kind of like BS and just like pop culture. I was very into that. But I played sports my whole life. I grew up with brothers, so I loved sports always. And I never really knew pro wrestling was like a mixture of both things. So I remember I was kind of hand passed around for interviews a little bit. When I got my degree in broadcast journalism at Sirius. And each time it was like entertainment channel or like this or that. And every time it was like, I was close to getting it. And then it was like, oh, well, this person worked here for 6 months, so they have to get it. But like, we're going to pass you on to this person because they're looking. So people liked me. It was just kind of finding the fit. Mm-hmm. And I interviewed it was called Rush at the time. It wasn't even what it is now. And it was, pro wrestling, MMA, boxing. I knew nothing about any of it. I remember I sat down in the interview and they just like wanted females, I think, because there was no girls on this small channel. Yeah. And I was like, I've watched Total Divas. I know who Nikki Bella is. And I know like those girls, like if that counts. And they were like, well, we like you, so we're just going to hire you. So like, it was like an hour-long interview on a Friday. I was hired on that Monday. And I remember in my head being like disappointed. I was like, oh, I can't say no because I want to get in. So I'm like, I just have to kind of make the best of it. Like, you never know what a foot in the door is going to do.
Right.
Like, fast forward, working my first day with Busted Open, and it was the most ridiculous show ever. Like, they were yelling about this, talking about that. And I was like, wait, is this like pro wrestling, like a thing? So like, I kind of dove into it head first and I just started watching it. And I was like, oh, this is like a soap opera with sports. It's kind of like a world I didn't know existed. And I worked my ass off. I like watched everything. I like really got into it, and just kind of opportunities presented themselves. Like 6 months after that, they had a full-time associate producer position and they loved me. And they were like, we want to recommend you for it. I got that. And then COVID hit, our producer left. And then I was like, you're going to be the interim lead producer of the show, not even a year working here. And then, oh yeah, COVID hits. And now we don't have anybody. You kind of have to learn what to do. And it was like the scariest time of my life, but it kind of all happened a little organically, I guess. Yeah. And now I'm obsessed with it. So
well,
can't get rid of me.
I guess what the whole podcast is about, right? It's like one pair of boots comes off and you have to find your other one, and diving headfirst into it is the only way that you're going to move forward and get
Right.
ahead. So
Right.
that's awesome, because I didn't even realize that you weren't like a wrestling fan before.
No.
And I think it's so funny how many women knew Total Divas but didn't know pro wrestling. And so obviously,
Yeah.
like we've talked on Gabby AF, but like Chelsea Green's my best friend, and
Yeah.
she loves Total Divas and is like, I'm a diva. And we always joke that like if we knew each other in high school, I would have hated her, because I was so like anti Total Divas, anti diva.
Right.
Women need to be athletes and respected, and these pillow fights and
Yeah.
you know, how could you expose the business behind the scenes? And I've grown so much to learn and appreciate all of those versions of women's
course.
wrestling to get where we
Yeah.
are today. And I love that Chelsea and I are so different in that aspect. But it's so funny to talk about how many women Total Divas opened their eyes to our industry and got them involved in
Wrestling
whether
as a
it's
fan.
yeah.
I say this all the time, and me and Chelsea have talked about it. The fact that they haven't brought a Total Divas back at this point is money wasted sitting on the table, because I just think, especially when I sit down with the females and like I talk to them about their stories, and like a lot of them are married to other wrestlers. You guys are married. Like, I just think those stories of like what you deal with at home and then bringing it to work and then leaving it at work and like doing these things, like it just writes itself. Like, sure, it's a little on TV. I'm sure the fights aren't always real, but I feel like I knew about so many of these women before ever actually watching just what we see on Raw or just what we see on SmackDown or just what we see on AEW. It's like you kind of know them, and it's like a glance to it that like, I don't know how they haven't brought something like that back yet, because it's just so damn entertaining. And the women really keep
those
everything
girls
going.
are fighting for it.
I'm
Chelsea
sure,
and
though.
Maxine
I
are
know.
like, I have a cast that I want, and let's get on this.
I mean, they're on
It-
Netflix.
Yeah.
So
Right. But not even that. What I think would honestly, like, people love Love Island, right? I'm not into the Love Island. I get it. But like, you're going to tell me you don't put like the NXT kids in a fucking house together and you don't think, sorry, can I curse, by the way?
Yes,
Yes, no, that's
absolutely.
Okay. So it'll just happen. But like, what goes on at NXT, like all them
Oh,
dating each other, that's like putting, like, if you filmed me in college, right? Like when in college,
1000%.
when like, and all these kids are just beautiful and like hot and in shape, and they're all just training together and like all these things, but they're still,
Yeah.
that's the show I want to watch. That would beat Love Island. You know what I'm saying? Put these kids in. I would watch that all day, every day. I'm like, that's the show I want to see. But
Yeah.
I'm
That's
sure
the show I
something will
want to see.
happen.
Because I know what we like, even just like our story of how we got together and like, you know, and what happened in NXT around that, like, would
Yeah.
be such great reality television.
So
And
good.
was
I don't
also
know how
when I
much it would
first
help
got-
them.
When I first got to the Performance Center in 2014, like it was frowned upon. Like you were not allowed to
Ooh.
date in house. Like
Yeah.
there were a few that like there were rumors of, but like everybody's like, no, you can't do that.
Right.
And then once it started happening, the bubble burst, and then everybody was just ended up dating because we're around each other all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know how you date outside of wrestling. Like I'm not even a wrestler, and even with like travel and stuff, like your guys' schedules are so crazy. I don't know how you leave someone at home who's working like a 9 to 5 that sees you 2 days a week, and like they would understand it as well as like what you do. So
Yeah.
I
And
get
I've
it. I
also
think it
felt
makes
that way.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah. But okay, let's bring it back to you.
Oh,
And
sorry.
let's talk about the transition then. Okay, so you're in wrestling, you have the job at Busted Open, and then
Yeah.
you don't, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's kind of what we talk about so much here, is that big transition and how you dealt with that. So can you tell us kind of how you
Yeah.
felt in those coming days, weeks, months? Did you know what you wanted to do next, or were you just like, I've adjusted my whole life and my whole
Right.
everything I know to this specific job?
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
I mean, you just said it. Like, I talk about like the rug being pulled out from under you. I've never in my life felt like I think I literally knocks the wind out of you. Like, I couldn't breathe. I didn't know. I think people that aren't in it, or a producer or someone that is behind the scenes, might not understand like how much it consumes you, and not in a bad way, but like Bust Open was my entire life. Probably not in a healthy way, you know, but like it just was like I was thrust into becoming the lead producer of the show. And mind you, dealing with it through COVID, like we didn't know how to do shows from home. So like the adjustments of that, I had just lost my lead producer who was basically my mentor and showing me what to do. And I kind of had to figure it out for myself. And Busted Open at the time, and still is, the #1 show in the entire sports department. It's not just a big show in pro wrestling. Like, it has the most eyes in it. And if any show in the sports department, you put a green producer like me who wants to do a good job, and I'm learning basically how to deal with it at home, doing all these things. And I'm juggling all these hosts. It's not just one host, you know, Dave's is the guy, but it's all these wrestlers that are like, okay, well, what do we do? Like, you tell us what to do. And it's hard. And then it's your whole life. And I say producing a pro wrestling show is not like another sports show because there's no off season and it changes every day. You have shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It changes all the time. So yeah, you could be done with work at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, but then, oh yeah, guess what? You got to watch at 8 o'clock, whatever's on, because I can't produce a show the next day with what they're talking about if I don't know what's going on. You can't just phone it in. So it consumed me completely. Not to mention, it opened a lot of doors for me. And I had done some on-air digital things with WWE because I had gotten invited out. So like I was kind of tampering in the on-air stuff a little bit because of what I was doing with Busted Open. And I remember the day it happened. You think it's never going to happen to you. And I've talked to a lot of wrestlers that got released as well. It's not the same, but you really do think it's not going to happen until it happens. And for someone like me that was on that show for 5 years, saw it through the ups and downs, saw it through all the producers that came and went, and I kind of picked up the pieces and I worked as hard as I did. I never thought it was going to happen to me when it did, because I had more followers at that point than some of the actual sports shows, like actual channels, because I had become a personality on the show. Yeah. So I was like, there's no way, you know, like, how are they going to get rid of me out of everybody? I'm the producer. By that point, too, the producer we had only been there like 2 months, and we got a new boss who had only been there like 5 months. So like I was there 5 years. I was like, there's no way. What are they going to do if they get rid of me? You know?
Right.
But we got an email like 10 o'clock in the morning during the show saying like, we're letting go of this amount of people. It's going to be like almost 500 people from the company. If you get a group meeting, like email or something, you know, blah, blah, blah. Dave was freaking out. Dave was like texting our boss at the time, like, what do we do? And he's like, I don't know anything, like whatever. We do the show. The show ends at noon, and 12:30, right? I get a group invitation to meet with someone from like HR and then like the head of the department, who I've seen all the time, but I've never been in a meeting with him. And immediately it's like, I almost threw up. I was like, yeah. And I called Dave and I'm sobbing. And Dave is Dave. And Dave's just like, maybe they just want to tell you you're doing a good job. Like, maybe it's not for this, you know? Because he's like, I don't. Yeah. Dave is such a pot. Like, he's just so, there's no way. Gabby, like, there's no way they would do this. Like, we wouldn't know about it. Like, blah, blah, blah. But, by the way, they made the meeting for like 4:30, which I was working, I think, 7 to 4. So it was like, I had to go about my day.
Oh no.
Like, completely. It wasn't like, right, because they were letting go of almost 500 people. Like, they're not going to look at your schedule and be like, oh, we're not going to make you work the rest. Like, it's just like, boom, boom, boom. We got to get rid of the people we're getting rid of.
Right.
Yeah. So I sobbed the entire day. I talked to everybody, but it's like, what can you do? There's nothing you can do. And then I got in the group meeting. When I tell you 60-second Zoom meeting, they could not get off the Zoom quicker with me. And I don't take it personal, because I'm like, sure, I put in all this work and time for the company, but like, if you're getting rid of that many people, they've been saying the same thing all day to these people, right? Yeah. Like, it just is what it is. But when I tell you, I have never felt that depressed and sad. Like, I cried. I think I stayed in my room and cried for like 2 weeks and like did not eat. I didn't leave my room. My roommate like literally had to come and check on me. It was the lowest I've ever been in my entire life, because you don't know what you're going to do. You know, I didn't think it would ever happen to me. And then it does happen to you, and everybody is around you saying like, it's so unfair, like blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't change anything. You know, it's right. You could say like, I love you and I don't want this to happen to you, but guess what? It did happen to me. My laptop literally stopped working the next morning, 8 a.m. in the morning. I couldn't even sign in to like do a goodbye to the show. I couldn't hop on and say goodbye to like my team, like nothing. I couldn't do anything. Yeah. I was alone. I sat there, and like, you get like a thing of, oh, you know, here's how you send all your stuff back. And I'm like, is this real? I posted a video of myself sobbing, like thanking the company and just thanking everybody. And I put that, thank God I filmed it the day before, because I scheduled it for the next morning. I didn't even look at it for like a day. And like, by the time I looked at it, it had like 500,000 views of just like wrestlers. I think you reached out to me, just people being like, there's no way this happened. Yeah. But it was very depressing. It was the lowest point of my life for sure. Like, I cry normally when I talk about it. I start crying because I'm just like emotional about it, because it's like, of feeling you never want to feel. And a lot of people have been there, which I've learned talking about it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't only me, but it was a very big kick in the gut for sure. And I cried and I was depressed for
And that's
Yeah.
that was a kick in the gut for me when I was let go. And I know we had different stories on how we felt because I know you wanted to be gone at the time.
Yeah.
To be let go. Me, I didn't expect it to come the when it did because I put in so much time and of my effort into WWE and NXT in my time there. And I thought we were having something good. And then that's a lesson in the world of pro wrestling. It's a business.
Right.
And you learn that in the entertainment side of things. And that's the only thing that makes you stronger out of it too. It's like, okay, cool. Now I know this is strictly a business. I have to do now what's best for me to go somewhere else and elevate myself the best that I can. And you've done that.
Yeah.
You've been popping up in TNA all through 2025. And then you also started your own podcast once you got let go. So like, tell us about that. Like, tell us about starting your own podcast and putting on your podcast boots.
So I always wanted to be on air. That was like always my goal at the end of the day. Like, and Dave knew that. And that, first of all, shout out to Dave, because what's amazing about Dave is like, he could have made Busted Open his own thing and been like, oh, I want to be this. I want to talk. I don't want to bring in people. Like, he made it a possibility for me to be an on-air presence on that show because he saw the work I was putting in. He saw I was watching. And by the way, there were no women at the time working that show. So anytime something happened, he'd be like, Gabby, what's your take on it as a female, especially, but also, you know, so like that was a big thing for me. And I always thank him to this day because I don't think I even would have got a footing on air if he didn't even just allow the opportunity because he didn't have to, and he did. And I remember I was like, didn't know what I wanted to do at all when I got laid off. And I was like, do I just get another producing job? Like, you know, but that's not really what I want. At the end of the day, like, I like talking pro wrestling. Like, I want to stick with pro wrestling. I love this. Like, I fell into it, but I love it. This is where I'm supposed to be. And it took me a little bit of time to realize, like, I wanted to start my podcast. Because when I did, I was like, I want to have everything. I'm a very big on, like, I don't want to just do it and kind of have no direction. I want to have everything kind of set before I do it so I don't look like a lost puppy. Because that gives me anxiety, and by the way, that's actually one of my regrets. If we're being honest, I wish I started it immediately. Like, I wish I hopped on the train at that point, because I think it would have blown up more if I used like the emotion that I had to kind of rev it at the end, as opposed to like waiting to get your ducks in a row, because your ducks are never in a row. Like, it's a podcast. People either want to hear from you or they don't, kind of thing. And I wish I did start it sooner than I did and hopped on it, but I was so depressed. Like, I thought I was just going to start talking and start crying. And I was like, nobody kind of wants to hear that. A girl crying. Nobody likes that. But I remember I was like, I want to start this. And wrestlers were reaching out to me. Like, my first guest was Ric Flair, because Rick called. Like, when you get laid off, you always kind of text the people like, hey, by the way, I'm not producing the show anymore. Like, loved talking to you and whatever. Like, I was very blessed that I talk how I talk, and I'm a very personal person. So I made my connections with people by being a producer. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that, or like kind of latch onto that. But that's my personality, is people knew me like, oh, Gabby, you Busted Open. Like, when I would book people, it was kind of like, oh, Gabby, like, Gabby's Busted Open. Like, even though I was the producer, I wasn't as behind the scenes, because like, you knew who I was if I was booking you. We were friends. We had our own relationships. So because I made those relationships, Ric Flair was like, whenever you need me. Like, Cody Rhodes was one of the first people to be like, I don't care what I'm doing, I'll tell WWE, and he was my second guest ever on the show. So it's like, cool. I got very lucky because of my connections that I had made. But also, my first episode I ever did was just me welcoming myself back in. And I gave some takes, and I came out like top 5 in the entire country was how my show debuted. And when that happened, I was like, oh, people actually care about me and what I have to say. What am I doing? Crying, sitting around feeling sorry for myself, because that's not going to help anything. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to do this. And sure, I can get guests, but like, I'm also going to give my takes on some stuff, because I have opinions and I have a personality, and I'm watching it anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I watch it. I'm a fan, and that's what I'm going to do. And when I saw that the first show did so well, and then, you know, people were like, you're doing great. Like, I want to come on the show with you. I want to do this. I was like, oh, I can actually like do this. Like, let me hop on the mic every once in a while and find other people like myself that are fans. And I do think I cover it a little bit differently. Like, I don't come on trying to be somebody I'm not. with me, you're going to get my opinion and it's going to be positive and it's going to be fun. And I'm going to talk to you about what I did yesterday or like whatever, because I feel like I kind of almost want the twist of my show to be like almost like a pop culture mixed into what it is. Like I'm just a real person and I'm going to tell you how I feel about something and I'm not going to lie about it. It's just going to be real and like take it and run with it kind of thing. But I want it to be an open space and I want people to feel like they're safe with me. You know what I mean?
Hey guys, if this was a conversation you needed to hear today, let us know.
Like, subscribe, and leave us a review. Lace up your boots and join the conversation.
And we'll be talking to you.
Oh, yeah, because I think that was our goal too. And I like that you said earlier, like, you were so upset and so depressed and it felt so personal to you until you started to talk to other people, until you realized, like, oh, this affected other people in a very similar way. I'm not alone. And that's, yes, that was the whole point of Boots to Boots. Yes, it's from like a veteran landscape, Steve being in the military, but we all go through these shared experiences. And why are we not sharing them more often? Because look at what came out of your shared experience. You're talking with people, you're making those connections, but you're still being yourself and being honest and upfront and opinionated, and like, you're a Jersey girl, so you know, like being you, and people love it. And so I didn't know it debuted top 5 in the nation, so that's so incredible and so great for you, because it can be so hard to kick yourself out of that depression and that like, I don't know what's next for me. But then when you do and you talk to other people and you come up with this concept, like there's such beauty on the other side of it.
Yeah. I also love too, earlier you said like how you fell in love with wrestling. And I know you love saying that about the athletes that would go into the PC that never experienced pro wrestling, didn't know anything about it. And then once they start to get into this world and they fall in love with it, you just see the magic in their eyes. And that's always something cool and authentic to where you just get addicted to it. And that bug that hits you and it just, that needle goes into your vein of pro wrestling that for that constant addiction because you fall in love with it. Which is awesome. And then for you with the podcast and like you found your purpose now with that and your voice, but do you ever question your voice in that? Sometimes I know you said you're very authentic and you try to be true to who you are and how you feel, but like, do you ever question sometimes your own opinions?
Sometimes, because for me, it's where I'm different from a lot of other people that have podcasts or are successful in podcasts is I feel like they know everything about pro wrestling. So I don't, and I don't pretend to. So it's like, they'll compare it to like, you know, the 90s or whatever. And that was never a time I watched. So sometimes I question like how I feel about watching somebody because I didn't watch them from their run like 10 years ago. So I can't compare the two. Like, for example, like John Cena's retirement. I only know John Cena from watching him really the past, 6-7 years. So I don't know the whole eras of John Cena that he went through because I wasn't a fan at the time. I can watch it now, but people who are like, oh, you know, when he did this and like my top 10 moments of that, like that's where it's harder for me because like my top 5 will be more recent and people will be like, you know, trolls will be like, she doesn't even know what she's talking about. She's not a real fan. And I am a real fan. I'm just a different fan than you are because I'm a newer fan in it.
Right.
And I don't go negative. I don't care. I just was talking to somebody about this because I think a lot of podcasters will get the numbers and the followers being like super negative because like they'll scream about something. And like, sure, it's funny to watch and you'll get the views and maybe the people also that hate it will like you and you do really well and you get these subs and these numbers. And I will never do that. I just think maybe I don't like everything, right? There are some things where I'm like, I wish they did that differently. But if the way I come at it is kind of like, okay, well, for me as a fan, this is how I would have done it differently. And I think it would have been cool as opposed to like, oh my God, like he sucks. The creative sucks. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, how are they doing this? Because I'm like, out of the one thing I don't like, there's 5 things I did like. I'd rather talk about that. Because like we're in such a negative world anyway that it's like talk about the good. I always try to stay positive because I'm like me complaining about something is not going to fix the problem. They're not listening to me. I don't work for the companies. There's a reason why they're doing what they do. I'm a consumer at the end of the day. Right. So I want to watch it. I'll give my take on it, how maybe I think it could have been better or why I liked it. But I do. Listen, I get a lot of trolls that are like, she doesn't even know wrestling. She's like, what did she show up 5 years ago and she thinks she knows everything? Like, blah, blah, blah. So like, I do get a little self-conscious sometimes talking about past stuff or veterans because like, I might not have seen their runs from years ago. So that's sometimes where I'm like, I get a little like maybe I'll be more reserved on my opinion because I'm only seeing them now as opposed to comparing them to like what they were, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but again, I think that's part of the appeal is like the real,
Yeah.
authentic, like raw opinion of and your opinion. And I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's why we get along so well. Is like we're both the same. It's like this is how I
Yes.
feel, and you could take it or freaking leave it. And I could
Right.
care less either way, as opposed to being clickbait and like
Oh, I can't with the
begging
clickbait.
for that interaction. It's like I'd rather do something that's so meaningful and will actually make a difference in giving people a positive platform or a
Yeah.
place to talk about their experiences, as opposed to like, let's talk about the stuff that I want to talk about and what's going to get me the most
No.
traction. I don't want that. And I think that
No.
you make a conscious effort to do that. And I think that through all the podcasts we've been on and the people that we admire in this space, it's something we try to do as well.
And that's the one
Yeah.
thing too, I wish more fans now, and I get it too, because I grew up in the era of like as the internet just started to come up with these blogs and
Mhm.
everybody was on the dirt sheets that way. And then now with X and Instagram and it's constant clips and burials and people putting their opinions out there, it's like if you don't like something, just turn it off.
Right.
It's very simple. But at
Right.
the same time, we don't live in that generation. Everybody wants to have an opinion and have a voice.
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess speaking more to maybe that self-conscious piece and getting into this space and feeling like, okay, people do want to hear what I have to say. Like, what was the piece that surprised you the most, maybe about yourself in being so successful now, coming from that state of like, what's next? And I'm shocked that I lost my job, but now you're doing amazing things.
I think you get kind of like the confirmation from people you look up to, right? Like for me, when wrestlers were reaching out to me, talent, like people that have been in this for a long time that do this with a lot of people, and they were like, no, what are you waiting for? Do it right now. Or we do an interview together and they're like, wow, Gabby, like really great interview. Like I'll come anytime you need me because like I feel safe with you, or, you know, I know that's how you're going to do things. Because my biggest thing is, especially if I'm interviewing somebody, is that they feel safe. Because if they don't want to talk to me or they don't think I'm there for the right reasons, they're never going to have a conversation with me. Nothing's ever good is going to come of it. And like, why would I do that to myself? I would rather have the trust of my interviewer than get clicks for making them feel uncomfortable or making them feel like, I wish I didn't say that, or you tricked me into saying something that gets clickbait and it runs all over the dirt sheets. I don't give a shit about that. Like I would rather have guys, people like you that I look up to in the space that have been around for a long time. You know, Cody saying this to me, Jericho says this to me, like Chelsea, like people that come on the show more than once because they're like, oh, I know you're going to ask me good questions. I know that whatever I say, we're safe in saying so, and she's not going to make me feel uncomfortable. So I think the reassurance, unfortunately, I wish I was one of those people that was like, I don't need people to tell me I'm doing a good job. I do. It helps me. Okay. Tell me I'm great. I need the positive feedback because for every good thing people say, I deal with a lot of hate and like, you know, being a girl, obviously we've talked about this too. Like I get a lot of troll terrible things said to me all the time. So it's kind of nice every once in a while for someone to like say they like it because of my questions or my thoughts, as opposed to being like something negative. So I will say, I think the positive feedback I get from talent and people that I talk to, or other people in the space even, that are like, you're doing a really good job. Like you're actually a talented person. And I'm like, wow, thanks. I didn't know it took you that long to realize that I'm actually good. Thanks a lot. But yeah, that helps me. So I appreciate it.
I feel like putting on the new pair of boots, right? Starting that new journey is always scary, because I felt that same way about Boots to Boots. Was like, oh my gosh, like we have to ask people for their time, and then, like I'm such a giver. I'm not a taker, and I just felt like I want this to be good. I want my ducks to be in a row, and I want it to be a positive space for people. So yeah, like just being able to like sit here and do this is what surprises me about myself every time, of like, okay, we can do it. We can have the good job. We can get that positive affirmation from our audience saying like, it's good, it's working. And so, no, I'm so happy that just that whole transformation we've been talking about this whole episode has turned out so well for you.
Well, she's been transforming all over TNA this past year too.
Yeah, that's true.
I love TNA.
Dip your toes in there, and like we've worked together a few times now, and obviously in 2025 and the transition from Access TV to now AMC with the debut coming up, well, this Thursday when this airs, it's already happened.
Yeah.
But for that to happen in this new era of AMC and TNA, like, are we going to see more of you at TNA? Is that something we're going to, because I think I ask you every time I see you, I'm like, so you here? What are you doing?
I know. believe me, I really hope so. I hope by the time this comes out that something big has happened, because that's really a dream for me. I absolutely love TNA. Every time I'm there, it's like everybody asks me, like Moose will ask me, you're like, you guys, you work here now, right? And I'm like, no, I'm just here for like this run, or this loop or whatever. And then everyone's like, okay, but like, don't you work here yet? I feel like you already work here. And I'm like, not yet. But I'm hoping, I'm praying. TNA is my favorite place. That I think my screen is getting blurry. TNA is like my favorite place that I've been in this. Listen, I haven't been in a lot of locker rooms, but that locker room is just so positive. Obviously, Steve, D, as well. Like the girls there are just so incredible, and they're just like there for you. And everyone it's such a family oriented place. And that's not even bullshit because I want a job there. It's just like real, and you guys know it.
Yeah.
And my dream, I would absolutely love to be a part of that roster, to say that like I am full-time there and go there all the time, especially with this new TV deal happening. I'm trying. I hope it happens. That would be a dream come true for me, because I am happiest doing like those live shows. Stuff like that gives me the most adrenaline. And I wanted to be like an actress my whole life. So like for things like that, where it's live shows, I was in plays, I was in the drama club. Like there's a lot about those kinds of things where like I thrive under the liveness of that. So
yeah, well, I was going to say that's kind of like being the backstage interviewer or being the host of the Hall of Fame show, like is kind of the perfect combination of all your worlds, right? You wanted to be like the E-News, and now you love wrestling. So to be able to combine those both, it sounds like it would be the dream job.
I listen, I don't think it's there anywhere, to be quite honest. I think it's a job that no one is holding right now. So I'm just saying, I think I could do a pretty good job of it. But, Carlos, hello, I'm just saying.
Well, since we got cut off, since I mentioned Tommy, we're going to edit that out.
Yeah, you mentioned Tommy, and all of a sudden it went black. Yep. So I don't know if he sat on something all the way in New York City and it dropped the power from all the way here, but possibly, who knows?
It's possible. No,
he was like, "Don't talk about TNA, Gabby."
No, we were just about to wrap up, and we like to always end with like a piece of advice or words of wisdom. And so to someone that is trying to find what their next journey is, what their next steps are, because they just lost their identity, what is one piece of advice from all that you've been through in the last few years you could give them?
I would definitely have to say, and this one is one that stuck with me. I actually have two. So I've been talking a lot.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I got 12. No, I'm just kidding. Seems like you told me this would be 20 minutes. I feel like I've been talking a lot too, so I apologize if I'm talking a lot.
It's your platform. We're telling your story.
I know.
Podcast.
So the first one was something that a wrestler actually told me, and he said to remember who the fuck you are. And I feel like that's just an important thing to kind of always, I remind myself at the end of the day, like if you're comparing yourself to other people, or if you're like, oh, well, they got this many views and like I didn't, just like, there's a reason why you're different. There's a reason why who you are. Just like remember who the fuck you are. Like you're not a loser. You're not a nobody sitting there at the end of the day. Like what you're going to put out for the world to see, you're going to want them to be happy with. So just make sure it has you written all over it, because if you get lost, which I've been very lost in things where I don't know my worth or I feel terrible about myself, and you're like, I'm not worth it or nobody cares, then nobody's going to care. But if you remember who the fuck you are and you wake up and you're like, no, I'm a badass today, and this is going to be a great podcast and I'm going to do it that way, people will kind of live off that energy. So always remember who you are and stay true to who you are. And that's easier said than done, but it's so important. And if you put the fuck in it, remember who the fuck you are, I feel like it kind of makes it better. But 1,000%. And then it just makes you kind of rev it up a little bit. But and then the other thing that is something big that I do. I don't know if it's a word of advice, but for me especially, I don't play dirty. I believe that there's a seat at the table for everybody. There always is, and there always will be. Doesn't matter if people play you out badly, if you've had bad interactions, if someone has messed with you. I have been there where people I thought I could trust, I can't trust. People pretend like they have your best interest at heart and they don't. I've been in bad situations, and Don't ever do that back to somebody, because if your talent and your work ethic will shine through it. Don't find yourself in the weeds with other people. And like I said, there's a seat at the table for everybody if you're willing to put in the work and let your talent shine through it, and don't play dirty, and don't worry about the people that are in the weeds, the poisonous people. Like, don't get down to that level, because I just think there's nothing good that comes from it, and you'll never see me doing that. And it might take you longer because of it, but you'll feel better at the end of the day when you make it, because you didn't have to step on someone's head to do it. And it's never the way to go about it.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny because we just interviewed Madison Rain and she said the exact same thing.
Really?
Yes. And I live by that, where I'm like, I don't play dirty. I believe, and we both do, right? Like, hard work will pay off in the long run for the good people. But it's so funny that you both back to back, we asked similar questions and she said the same thing. She's like, other people will skyrocket because they're willing to stab you in the back. And her piece of advice for a 20-year long career was, I will not do that. So I just love that we've interviewed two badass women back to back, and you both said the same exact thing. So I'm already like podcaster, social media producing. How do I clip this all together? Like,
that's so funny.
So good.
Yeah.
Yes, at 4 a.m. when I do my best work. But no, I love that for you. And I love you. And we are so grateful to have you on to flip the script today and talk about you and talk about your journey. And hopefully, you know, the goal of Boots to Boots is to have someone listen and take that piece of advice and put it to work and better their lives. So I hope that they can do that.
Yeah. Listen, I love you guys so much. You know, I love you both. I talk about you both all the time to each other. Basically, every time I see Steve, I go, how's Gianna? Because you're not there. Or if I see you, I'm like, tell Steve I say hi. So thank you for having me. I never really get to talk about me a lot, so it's kind of nice. I feel like I should do it more. You know, people got to know about me. But
and we love you.
And listen, I'm nowhere near where I want to be yet. So it's a process and it's taking time, but hopefully by the end of this year, I will be farther than I have been. And it's very hard and I have terrible days sometimes. And that's just the reality of it. I want people to be like, wow, she's amazing. Cause like, that's not what it is. Mental health is very important and you need to work on that all the time with yourself. And it's something I don't talk about a lot, but I struggle with it all the time because you worry about your worth or you find yourself back in that bad place when you were released or at the down times when something bad happened. And you got to walk through it. You can't like ignore it. And that is kind of what I've been doing. So hopefully 2026 is a big year for me. Who knows?
Yeah. It's going to be a great year for all of us. And we're so grateful to talk with you. So thank you so much for joining Boots to Boots.
Hey guys, if you're enjoying Boots to Boots, let us know.
Lace up your boots and join the conversation.
Like, subscribe, leave us a comment,
and we'll be talking to you.